Everyone learns differently. It doesn't matter if you do it differently than other kids. Lovely. We got into multiple fights over it and I was sick and tired of her complaining. Talk to her then. Am I the asshole for not inviting one coworker to get together everyone else was invited to? Am I the asshole for stopping my daughter from studying as a punishment? I'm gonna say not the asshole. Today I'm gonna be telling you whether or not you're the asshole. Because I thought this would be fun. I can screen record only the target window. Yeah, that. Love that. Okay. Am I the asshole for writing please call or email me instead of signing my son's math quiz? My 11-year-old son got a D on his math test and I had to sign it. I looked at his test and he had like 30% knocked off for not having the wrong answer, but from figuring out the answer in a different way or for missing a decimal point in the workflow. First of all, 30% for doing the work in a different way. Everyone learns differently. It doesn't matter if you do it differently than other kids. And I get if the teacher's like, oh, I specifically want you to do it that way. And unless it was stated that it was specifically needed to be done in that way, then I don't know why you should have got 30% off. I was very irritated and my son was frustrated. He should have gotten A or B+. I refused to sign because I didn't agree with the grade. So I wrote to call or email to discuss. She never did. It's been a few weeks. So she emails me to discuss my son's overall grade. I met with her yesterday and she said my son isn't doing too well. I said I agreed. She said my son was going to have to do a remedial math intervention class after school. I'm guessing that means like extra help or something. I asked her if she thought her grading was accurate. She said she wasn't sure what I was talking about. I said her grading was wrong. On the last, that could have been worded better. Could have been better. You could have said like, oh, I don't agree with the way you graded my son's test. Not that she's wrong. On the last test, she marked him wrong when we had the right answers. According to her grading logic, he could have drawn a middle finger and would have almost gotten the same grade. I told her to check his last test. She said she did. I said to check again. She said why did I wait this long to bring up the test? I asked her why she didn't read my note. She pulled it out and read it. She said I should have called or emailed her first. I laughed and said that this was the first time she actually read my response. But I forgive her for the oversight, so please check her grading. Over an hour of back and forth, she conceded and marked him down too much and he got a B. Conceded that she marked him down too much and he got a B. Before I left, she told me not to send her messages on tests. I said agreed, but don't ask me again to sign them if she's not going to check. Like I said, I'm just a dad raising 3 boys, so I have a lot of patience, but I am firm with youngsters like this teacher. Okay, I'm gonna say not the asshole. Couple things. So I feel like you could have reached out to this teacher. You could have like walked into the school, or instead of trying to contact the teacher directly, like if your kid has an agenda, write it there. If that doesn't work, like go in and talk to the principal. Call the school, like figure it out from there. Like it was very passive for him to like wait to talk to the teacher. Let's see what other people say. Someone said, in theory, not the asshole, but the way that you wrote this sounds condescending to the point I feel bad for the teacher. Then someone else replied, yeah, especially when he called her a youngster. And then someone else said, yeah, that's the part that gets me. I'm old, but I'm not going to call a teacher youngster just because I'm older and disagree with their teaching methods. I didn't pick up on that. My webpage just completely stopped working. Lovely. Am I the asshole for expecting my girlfriend to help me when I did something else she disapproved of? When I did something she disapproved of. Can't speak. I bought a secondhand motorcycle from a friend and began using it to get my motorcycle license. My girlfriend was very against it and showed me statistics of injury rates for motorcycles and how stupid it was that I was choosing to take the risk. I've always wanted to get one, and I ignored her because she is constantly nagging about it being dangerous. You should talk that out. He just said I've always wanted to get one. Then you gotta talk that out and explain it to her, and also hear that she cares about you. That's what I see going on here right now, is that she's worried about you and doesn't understand how long you've been wanting to do this, and you're ignoring her because it's annoying to you. We got into multiple fights over it and I was sick and tired of her complaining. Talk to her then! Last month I got into an accident, no car, only me, where I swerved into a metal fence and broke my collarbone and fractured my wrist. I got myself to emergency and they patched me up. I also got multiple cuts on my face and needed stitches. I don't have the best insurance, so after I have a $3,700 bill. I can't afford this, and even if I sell the motorcycle, I still have over $1,000 in the bill. I'm trying to get the bill reduced now, but it will take a while. Beyond that, I also can't cook or do basic things like put on a brace to my shoulder or lift things. I've asked my girlfriend to help me when she comes over to help me, and she's just coldly told me if she helps me, I'll just get back on my motorcycle, which I've already told her I'm trying to sell. I've called her cold and bitchy for refusing to help me with anything because she calls my injuries self-inflicted. She seems like she wouldn't help me if I got sick because she isn't the least bit sympathetic. I got hurt, but am I the asshole for expecting any help after she warned me it was dangerous? That's a tough situation. Like, there's just too many things going on for me to just say if you're the asshole or not. Because first of all, you're not talking it out at all. It sounds like you just ignored her the entire time. And then she's upset about it. The person with the motorcycle, they should have talked to their girlfriend more about this and not like brushed her off. The girlfriend, she should have made it very clear beforehand that if they did get messed up, that she wasn't gonna help them. I don't know. I'm like trying not to go to the comments and like form an answer from there. I'm just gonna take a wild guess. I'm on the fence. I'm just gonna say you've both got issues. The way this is written, I want to say you're the asshole, because it sounds like you're not listening to your wife at all, or your girlfriend, I mean. Am I the asshole for not inviting one coworker to get together everyone else was invited to? I work for a small office of a larger company. Until recently, why is my phone going off? I work for a small office of a larger company. Until recently, we had 12 permanent employees. All 12 of us are like the same NFL team. We get together Sundays to watch, sometimes at a local bar. Oh, all of us sometimes at the local bar, but usually we take turns hosting. It's usually not all of us, but 5 or so each week are able to make it. A few months ago, we hired a new employee, Jen. We didn't say anything about our Sunday tradition because we didn't know if she was interested. However, a couple weeks ago, someone saw her wearing a hat for the team and passed it on to me, so I invited her. She accepted the invitation. However, it was not a fun experience for the rest of us. She got upset when people talked and ate chips, saying she didn't like the sound of people eating and that she wanted to be able to hear the announcers. Then that's your issue. We did not invite her last Sunday for that reason. Somehow she found out through someone's family member that it was an every week thing she wasn't invited to. She was incredibly angry she wasn't invited and accused me of being toxic. She was most angry at me because I started the tradition and was the one to invite her. She even reported me to the wider company and complained on social media. Now she's refusing to work with me on a project until I apologize for excluding her and is being in general cold. A few other people have said I should just to satisfy her and not cause drama, but I don't think it's necessary. Not the asshole. It sounds like Jen here has some self-esteem issues. If you're getting mad at the way, choose your freaking battles. If you're going this thing and you're getting mad at the way people chew and you're really like upset that like, you can't hear the announcers, then don't go. Watch it at home. Like, either that or don't complain. Like, if you're going out because you want like social time, sure. If you're going out to actually watch this game and all this other fun stuff and you're getting mad at people, if you're being rude to people who invited you to this thing that they're hosting and then you get mad because they don't invite you, am I the asshole for leaving my birthday dinner early? If you're hosting it, then yeah. I turned 25 this past Monday. To celebrate, I plan to have dinner with my family and then go out to a bar with friends. My dad loves to cook, so I asked if he could just make something he knew I liked, didn't care what. When I got to my parents' house, I found my brother and his girlfriend had decided to cook for us instead. Okay, fine. And they've decided to cook dishes the girlfriend chose instead of my favorites. Alright, a bit annoying, but whatever. But then when we sat down to eat, I actually tried the food. Every single dish was so incredibly spicy. My mouth was on fire, and the only thing that I could stand to eat was the rice. Well, Nadia, I don't want to butcher that, but I think that's how you pronounce her name. notices I'm basically not touching my food and asks me if everything's alright. I have to admit that it's just far too spicy for me. No shame in that. She looks embarrassed, so then my brother goes off on me, telling I'm being incredibly rude and they work so hard on the meal. I gently reminded him that while I appreciate it, I didn't ask them to cook for me, and I certainly didn't ask them to make food he knew I wouldn't like. So then my mom starts off on me for fighting at the table, and dad is scolding me for not appreciating a good meal. Nadia looks like she's about to cry, so I try to make a joke that it looks amazing, I'm just too white for this spice. Well, it didn't work, because my brother calls me a racist and starts shouting at me. At that point, I figured dinner's rude and I wasn't going to eat anyway, so I excused myself and went to the bar early. My brother isn't speaking to me, and my parents both asked that I apologize to him and his girlfriend. But I think my brother owes me an apology for calling me racist over spicy food. Am I the asshole? No, because you would no say in the food, and you weren't being rude. That was not rude. Not the asshole. Yeah, someone said, poor Nadia, honestly. It sounds like she didn't know you don't eat spicy and tried to do something nice and probably thought the meal would be special. Am I the asshole for returning my stepdaughter's birthday gift because she didn't save a cupcake for my daughter? I'm 33, engaged to my fiance, 36. I have a 4-year-old daughter and he has a 16-year-old daughter. Okay. Oh, that's a huge age difference. Okay. He comes from a conservative family, so we won't move in together till after marriage. So far, we're on good terms as a blended family. But I notice that my stepdaughter acts kind of distant towards my daughter. Every time I try to talk to my fiance about it, he'd tell me to give the kids a chance to bond and warm up to each other. My stepdaughter's 16th birthday took place on Sunday. Since she's into baking, she decided to bake cupcakes instead of having an actual birthday cake. My daughter and I went over to my fiance's house and attended the party, and I brought my stepdaughter a gift, which was an iPhone. Holy shit. Over a cupcake? We sat down as she started serving everyone cupcakes. Then it was my daughter's turn. She bluntly said that she was sorry, but she didn't have any for my daughter. I felt confused. I asked if she made enough cupcakes and whether there were guests that came uninvited. She said no, that she just didn't make one for my daughter. I asked why. She refused to say. I was so mad and felt hurt on my daughter's behalf. I got up and told my fiance that I wanted to leave. My fiance tried to stop me, and I offered his cupcake to my daughter, but I refused to take it. On the way out, I grabbed the gift I bought for my stepdaughter, and she stood there and watched. I could hear her yell, "Dad!" She took the iPhone while I was walking out with my daughter. My fiance tried to get me to go back inside, but I refused. Later, he came over and we had an argument. He said that I overreacted and that I know some teenagers can be moody and do random stuff without explanation, so I shouldn't have taken it personally. I said she excluded my daughter and didn't save her a cupcake, but said that it was just a cupcake, and they reminded me that he offered his cupcake and I should have accepted it and called it a day. He said taking an iPhone, which was supposed to be a gift back, was poor taste and that it might hurt my relationship with his daughter. I refused to give it to him so he could give it to her since she was crying about it. He left and was mad at me. We haven't talked since, except via text. There's an edit, but I'm not going to read it yet. You're the asshole. I feel like, first of all, you're setting a horrible example for your daughter, your 4-year-old daughter. I think taking the iPhone was like a heat of the moment thing. I don't think you should have been like upset about that. And like, I don't have kids, so I feel like I can't really speak on the subject, but I feel like I would be raising an entitled daughter if I did that. Like, that it's just petty to me. It's just very petty. So I'm gonna say yeah, the husband offered the cupcake. Should have just taken that one. Like, I feel like if the stepdaughter was doing that, she was doing that to get a reaction, and you gave her one. Like, I feel like I agree that she overreacted. That's it. That's all I have to say. Edit. She's been wanting the iPhone for a while, and since her dad couldn't buy it, I decided I'd be nice if I gifted it to her. For those who are asking how a teenager could own an iPhone, I'm sorry if it's uncommon where you live, but where I live, iPhones are the most common phones. Also, I saw that she served her girlfriend a whole plate of cupcakes, so it's not like she baked a specific number. I'm still gonna say you're the asshole. You overreacted. A 16-year-old acting like this because... Dude, I'm trying to read the comments. A 16-year-old is acting like this because she's been A 16-year-old is acting like this because she's been allowed to. And with only a few years before adulthood, the odds of her growing out of it aren't in original post favor. Wow, your stepdaughter is to be a mean girl, which is a polite way of saying that she's a brat. Brats are cultivated. Your fiance allows this for the last 16 years. He's not going to change. Best of luck to you and your daughters having to deal with this bullshit. You sound kind of awesome and you deserve so much better. A lot of the reason people are saying not the is because, like, the stepdaughter's 16 and shouldn't have done that. But you overreacted. Like, taking an iPhone, I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in that situation. Because if she's been acting like bratty for a really long time, and you have brought it up, then sure, take the iPhone away. I feel like I'd be setting a bad example for my daughter by getting mad, taking the iPhone, and leaving. Like, the way it's written feels overreacted-ish. I don't know. Because I kind of want to say not the but at the same time you overreacted. But then I want to say you're the because you overreacted. I'm going to switch my answer. I'm going to say you're not the but you did overreact. Am I the for stopping my daughter from studying as a punishment? Yes. I have a daughter, 16, who is unlike any teenager I've seen. The problem is she's extremely rude. I've tried many things to fix this, but nothing works. I never have these problems with my other kids. With them, I could just say no to electronics for a week or ground them or something like that and it would be enough, but not for her. She doesn't care if I take away her electronics. She just picks up a few novels and starts reading them. She will actually be grounded here because she can use it as an excuse to avoid all our family gatherings, like, oh, we're going to see Auntie's home tomorrow night. I wish I could come, but I'm grounded. Then happily goes to her room. The only thing that she likes is studying. Like, she will spend hours studying. Last night when she was talking to her mom, she was being rude and very sarcastic, and as a last option, I told her that she is not allowed to study until I decide she has learned how to talk to her mom. She yelled at us and started to call me an asshole. I will say this is not fair. Then she called my brother, who called us and told us we're assholes for not allowing her to study, but she gave us no other choice. Okay, well, it sounds like I'm gonna say you're the asshole. I'm gonna say that the way she's acting like that is to get you riled up. I feel like there's something else going on. Like, I feel like you need to talk to your daughter about why she's being rude. Because what I've seen is when children are rude, especially teenagers, it's like because some of either their needs are being met too much and they're being jerks about it, or they need more attention or something. Taking away something positive is not a good punishment. You don't want to punish studying. If studying is a wanted behavior, like you want your daughter to study, you want your daughter to do good in school, you want your daughter off their electronics, you should not punish that. This is not the way it works. You don't punish good behavior. You don't take it away, is what I mean. At least that's what I think. I'm gonna say you're the asshole. Yeah, you're the asshole, and your daughter's attitude issues aside, you have no idea how rare your daughter is. Exactly. You have a kid who shrugs at her electronics being taken away and happily picks up novels in their stead. She enjoys studying and will spend hours at it without prompting. Did we step through into some pre-internet wormhole where kids actively pursued and actually enjoyed reading things other than screens? It must have crossed your mind that your daughter could simply be neurodivergent or in need of therapy. And her perceived rudeness may be greatly tempered through the feeling like her family is actively trying to understand and embrace what makes her unique, rather than punish her for not falling in line in expectations with your other kids. Exactly! Someone said maybe that she's neurodivergent, or maybe that she's hiding from something going on in that family. It sounds like she misbehaves to get grounded, which could be a social or anxiety issue. She needs therapy, not punishment. Yeah. Taking growth and information away from a developing brain isn't a good move. Make her mow the lawn or do her siblings' chores on top of her own, or deep clean the fridge, or whatever creative thing you can come up with to give her that isn't taking away from her intellectual development. 100%. Hundo P. Okay, well, I'm done. That's it for this video. I don't want to do all this like cringy outro stuff. You know what I'm gonna say, because everyone says it literally all the time ever. The one thing I will say though is that if you want to see more like this, comment down below. Tell me in the comments, please. Comment on my video. I'm begging for comments. Let me know if you think these people are the assholes or not. Let me know if you disagree or agree with what I said. That's it. Goodbye.